Let the record reflect that all 5 have answered in the affirmative. And Ms. Richardson, you have 5 minutes. Please proceed.
Thank you so much, Chairman Durbin, Ranking Member Tillis, members of the committee. Thank you for inviting me to testify today. I am Yolonda Richardson, and I'm President and CEO of the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids. The campaign is the leading advocacy organization working to reduce tobacco use and its deadly consequences in the United States and around the world. The campaign was and is a strong advocate for the Family Smoking Prevention and Tobacco Control Act, which was the landmark legislation that gave FDA the authority to regulate tobacco products. One of the most important tools that Congress gave FDA was the authority to conduct pre-market reviews of new tobacco products before they can be legally sold. Because of the Tobacco Control Act, decisions about which new products enter the market are no longer supposed to be made by tobacco manufacturers based on economic considerations, but rather ultimately made by FDA based on the need to protect public health after a careful review of the scientific evidence. Unfortunately, as you've heard this morning, pre-market review has not been effectively applied to e-cigarettes. FDA failed to assert its regulatory authority over e-cigarettes until a substantial e-cigarette market had already formed and e-cigarettes had already become the most popular tobacco product among youth. FDA then further delayed implementation of the pre-market review requirements of e-cigarettes, allowing these markets to remain on the market for years. Only when the campaign and other public health groups successfully challenged the delay did FDA initiate pre-market review process in 2020, years after these products were already on the market illegally. Now that pre-market review has started, we are encouraged that the FDA has appropriately applied the public health standard as intended by the Tobacco Control Act. We agree with FDA's determination that flavored products should not be permitted because they increase the appeal and use of e-cigarettes by youth. Yet, as we've noted this morning, the process has been slow, and several e-cigarette companies have flooded FDA with pre-market applications for millions of products, gumming up the process. The result? Thousands of e-cigarettes are still under review, and there appears to be an unstated policy of not taking enforcement action against products with pending applications, including flavored e-cigarettes. The large number of unauthorized e-cigarettes on the market continue to present risks to public health. These products are highly addictive, can expose users to harmful substances, and have consistently been shown to appeal to youth. Appealing flavors and addictive levels of nicotine is a dangerous combination, which is why the FDA has rejected applications for millions of flavored e-cigarettes. Over the past year, the FDA has taken some important enforcement actions, but the current level of enforcement activity has not proven to be sufficient. More and stronger enforcement action is needed. The campaign and 77 other organizations recently sent a letter to FDA, the Department of Justice, and the Customs and Border Protection, urging them to make several changes. I will quickly highlight for you some of the changes that we proposed. First, the FDA must seek greater monetary penalties. FDA has been seeking penalties of only about $20,000, which is too low to serve as a deterrent. Second, the Department of Justice must prioritize tobacco product enforcement and act more quickly and aggressively when violations are found. Despite widespread non-compliance, DOJ has sought injunctions against only 7 manufacturers today. Third, Customs and Borders Protection and FDA must prioritize and stop illegal importation of unauthorized products, many of the products you discussed earlier in the day that are coming in from outside of the United States. Fourth, the enforcement action must be brought against all parties in the supply chain, from manufacturers to wholesalers and distributors down to retailers. Fifth, FDA must end the broad exercise of enforcement discretion for products with a pending application. These products are no more legal than products for which no application was ever filed. And lastly, FDA must complete its review of e-cigarettes. FDA needs to move quickly to a true pre-market review process where products are reviewed prior to entering the market, rather than the current post-market review. We welcome this week's announcement about the creation of the multi-agency task force, a whole of government approach. This could be important, but it must be immediately followed with concrete and comprehensive enforcement actions. Federal agencies should also coordinate closely with states and localities on enforcement where appropriate. Pre-market review has great potential to reduce youth e-cigarettes, but without adequate enforcement, companies will continue to flout FDA requirements and put young people at risk. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Richardson. Mr.